Bulala, I want to thank you for the very warm welcome presented to me and the Minister for Health this afternoon here in Rakiraki. I and the Minister for Health have a connection long way back. My grandfather and my grandaunt were brought up in his village when they were young, before they were taken back to Voreqe. So we have a very strong connection. But I thank you all for the very warm welcome. Thank you for the welcome ceremony, the Ngona ceremony. Thank you for the warm words of welcome to my party this afternoon here in Rakiraki. In all the statements I've made over the past 6 months or so, the first part of the statement, I always thank you, the frontline workers. But today gives me, or yesterday and today and tomorrow and hopefully next week I'll come back to the Western Division to finish my visit. It gives me an opportunity to meet face to face with you personally and to thank you on behalf of a grateful nation. I've heard of all the abuses, I've heard the sacrifices, and that is really the reason I'm taking the time off to come and visit you, and also take the opportunity because the borders are now open and we now reach 80%. Thank you, Doctor. It gives me the opportunity to come and visit you, and thank you personally for the hard work that you've put in the last 6 months or so. Thank you for the sacrifices. Thank you personally on behalf of a grateful nation for keeping this COVID-19 at bay. But you all understand that we still have a lot of some restrictions. Even though we've lifted the borders, we've lifted a lot of restrictions. We've increased the curfew hours or shortened the curfew hours, but we still have some restrictions put in place because we have not done the full yard yet. So you still may have to do some work with regards to keeping the people safe from COVID-19. We've gone past 80%, but 20% is still a big number. And I'm very worried about the 20% because they still can, the 20% unvaccinated can still die from COVID-19 if they're not vaccinated in time. And that is hence why we put up some restrictions, especially in the outer islands. Out in our villages in the rural areas, some of whom, for one reason or another, have not wanted to be vaccinated. So I've put some restrictions in those areas, in the outer islands, until they reach the 80% mark. We can't allow anybody from Viti-level and Voreqe to go to the outer islands for obvious reason, because even though we may have been double dosed, we still can carry the COVID-19 to those unvaccinated people in our rural and maritime islands. And that is the reason why I've asked that we restrict movement from Viti-level and Voreqe to the outer islands until they've reached the 80% mark. Not yesterday, but two weeks ago, I found out that somebody from Korea had traveled to Fiji. He had come on the Air New Zealand flight, which they don't check, I understand, at the departure gates in New Zealand. But he came in without being vaccinated. and is now in one of the quarantine hotels. He was found sick, COVID, positive COVID. So I've made, put out a directive for anyone that coming to Fiji unvaccinated, he will go into a quarantine area and he will be vaccinated, and he will remain in the quarantine area until he gets a second dose before he can be released from there. So we're worried about ourselves, the Fijian population, about getting vaccinated, and yet we still have some people coming in without being vaccinated. That used to be the protocol before, but now we want to, because we want to put our foot down on the restrictions that we have, and we need to come up with continuous protocols and policies with regards to people who come in without being vaccinated. But that's a different story. But just today, I just want to come and thank you for the hard work you put in, your sacrifices you put in into keeping our people safe from COVID-19. On behalf of a grateful nation, I want to thank you all personally for this wonderful work that you've done for the people of Fiji.
Okay.
All right.
Everyone. Bula. Nice to be here in Tavua again after a long time. We're just taking advantage of the lifting of the borders. And of course, the 80% vaccination. Thanks to you, that we can now move freely around Vitilevu. And we want to go across to Unolevu when weather and shipping permits. But I'm here really just to come and personally thank you for the wonderful work that you've been doing for the last 6 months or so, keeping us safe from COVID-19. You will have heard that we've accepted the fact that COVID-19 will be here with us for a while, but we need to beat it. Bring down the number of deaths, bring down the number of cases. Then the only way we can do that is by vaccination. And we're asking everyone to get vaccinated, of course, double dose. And I've heard that you have one of the highest percentage of vaccination here. Thank you very much, for whole of government effort in getting that number up. But I'm still disappointed in the number of people that have yet to be vaccinated for one reason or another. That is why I've asked that no one move across to the Maritime Islands until they registered 80% in their villages before anyone can move across there. Because obviously, we, even though we are double dosed, we still can carry the virus with us, and we really don't want to take it across to the other islands when they're not vaccinated, because it'll bring the number of deaths up, and that's what we don't want. Someone I've heard, I think it was President Biden that said that this pandemic is for the unvaccinated. So let's get everyone vaccinated, those who can be vaccinated. I've just come across in Rakiraki, one of the high schools there, where they vaccinating the 15 to 17-year-old. Pfizer will be brought in on the 18th of October, but we have decided, me and the minister have decided that we won't do any. The Pfizer is for the 12 to 14. youngsters. But we have decided that we won't start on that vaccination program until the middle of November, so we can give time for you to vaccinate 15, 17 and get rid of that numbers out. So you have some free hand to vaccinate the 12 and 14-year-old. I understand that those who are doing vaccination the rollout program are quite busy. Now that the 360 is also out, that'll be coming out in the next couple of weeks. So a lot of people are just getting vaccinated for 360. But they're still getting vaccinated, and that's a wonderful thing about it. We need to get everyone vaccinated. But I'm here, really, I'm here with the two ministers to come and thank you on behalf of a grateful nation. Thank you very much. Each and every individual, thank you for the wonderful work that you've done over the last 6 months to keep us safe. We can never thank you enough. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, to come up and thank you personally. Unfortunately, the borders have been closed. And now that we've moved the percentage up to 80%, the borders are now open and we can move freely. Thank again to you. Most of the restrictions are out. Again, thank you for the wonderful work that the frontliners do or have done over the last 6 months. The restrictions have been, most of the restrictions have been lifted, but we've still kept some on for the obvious reasons, because we have not vaccinated the full 100%. So we would love to have tourists on board. I heard this morning, I saw a YouTube channel that says that one of the airlines, Australian Airlines, is giving $169 one way, Australian, to come to Fiji. So I think we should be prepared for that, especially those of you in the Western Division. There'll be a lot of influx in the industry, from the tourist industry from Australia and New Zealand. Last night I put out a directive that anyone coming into Fiji unvaccinated will be put into quarantine, and we will vaccinate them. We will vaccinate them. We have enough problem trying to vaccinate our people, and we can't afford people to come in from overseas trying to sneak in without getting vaccinated. So when they come in, we will put them into quarantine. We'll give them the first dose, and they'll stay there in the quarantine until we give them the second dose, and then they can come out. So that's a directive I put out yesterday, but I want to just to come and thank you personally. Thank you for what you've done to keep us safe in the last 6 months. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Pero niya bisa nito sa lobang sa